In the dense jungles of Guadalcanal, a battle raged that would become a defining moment of the Pacific War, a brutal struggle later immortalized in Terrence Malick's film, The Thin Red Line. But beyond the silver screen lies the true, harrowing story of the Battle of Mount Austen and the fight for a seemingly insignificant ridge known as the Gifu. Let us separate fact from fiction and uncover the real history behind one of World War II's most grueling engagements. It's December 1942. For months, U.S. Marines and Army soldiers have been locked in a desperate fight for Guadalcanal. The Japanese, determined to retake the island and its critical Henderson Field airstrip, have established a series of formidable defensive positions in the island's interior. The most notorious of these was a heavily fortified area on the slopes of Mount Austen, which American soldiers nicknamed the Gifu, after Japan's Gifu prefecture. This wasn't just a random name. It was a testament to the tenacity of the Japanese soldiers defending it, many of whom hail from that very region. The American objective was clear: neutralize this Japanese stronghold to secure the inland flank and prevent counterattacks on Henderson Field. The task fell to the U.S. Army's 132nd Infantry Regiment. What they faced was a nightmare. The Gifu was a fortress of nature and human engineering, a series of interconnected pillboxes, rifle pits, and mortar positions, all concealed by the thick jungle canopy. The terrain itself was an enemy steep, muddy slopes, and dense vegetation made movement incredibly difficult and exhausting. The initial assaults in late December were met with ferocious resistance. The Japanese defenders, though isolated and running low on supplies, fought with incredible determination. They had spent months perfecting their defensive network, creating interlocking fields of fire that could decimate any attacking force. American soldiers, struggling with the heat, disease, and the constant psychological strain of jungle warfare, found themselves in a meat grinder. Every yard gained came at a heavy cost. Progress was measured in feet, not miles. The battle for the Gifu was characterized by close-quarters combat. Small unit actions, often led by determined sergeants and junior officers, became the norm. Soldiers crawled through mud and tangled roots, using grenades and flamethrowers to clear out Japanese bunkers one by one. The fighting was intimate, terrifying, and relentless. Unlike the sweeping battles often depicted in movies, this was a slow, agonizing process of attrition. It was a soldier's war, where individual bravery and squad-level tactics made all the difference. By mid-January 1943, after weeks of brutal combat and mounting casualties, American forces, now reinforced and employing new tactics, finally began to break the Gifu's defenses. They systematically encircled the position, cutting off the last Japanese supply lines. The final assaults were merciless. On January 23rd, after more than a month of relentless fighting, the Gifu finally fell. The cost was immense on both sides, a stark reminder of the savage nature of the Pacific theater. So, while The Thin Red Line captures the philosophical and psychological toll of war, the real Battle of Mount Austen was a story of strategic necessity, incredible endurance, and the grim, bloody reality of jungle warfare. It was a crucial, if often overlooked, victory that helped secure Guadalcanal for the Allies and marked another step on the long road to Tokyo. The forgotten ridges of Mount Austen stand as a silent monument to the soldiers who fought, bled, and endured in one of the toughest battles of the Pacific War.